let me ask you something. How much of your day is spent just waiting? Waiting for jobs to start, for environments to build. Well, today we're digging into the new Syntasa 9.0.1 release, and it is all about giving you that time back. 2 to 3 minutes. Now, that might not sound like a lot at first, but think about it. How many times a day have you kicked off a batch job only to sit there and just watch the screen for 2, maybe 3 minutes while a Conda environment builds? Trust me, that time adds up day after day. And that's exactly what Syntasa 9.0.1 is here to do, give you that time back. Look, this isn't just some minor patch. It's a fundamental upgrade designed to change the way you work. It lets you iterate faster and stay focused on what actually matters, solving the problem in front of you.
So how'd they do it? Let's dive into the first big change, which is a much smarter approach to batch processing, especially when you're using Spark on Kubernetes.
Okay, so the solution is actually pretty simple, but it is incredibly effective. Instead of building a Python environment from scratch every single time you run a job, Syntasa now uses these pre-installed, ready-to-go environments. Your job just instantly grabs the version it needs, whether it's 3.7 or 3.11, and gets straight to work. No more build delay, period. Let's just take a second to remember the old way. You'd start your job and bam, you'd immediately hit this mandatory pause. This build Conda environment step was the bottleneck, that 2 to 3 minute wait before your code could even think about executing. And this just shows the difference perfectly. That middle step, it's just gone. You start the job and it runs. It's a straight line from you clicking run to your code actually running. It's exactly how it should be. But look, getting rid of that startup lag, as amazing as that is really just the beginning. This update goes way deeper. It creates a much more unified and powerful way to handle all of your scripts and dependencies on Kubernetes. The big takeaway here is that everything is just more cohesive and, honestly, more resilient. Your initialization scripts now work seamlessly across your entire Kubernetes cluster. And get this, you can now automate your pip and jar installs. My personal favorite though, if an init script fails, it doesn't kill your entire job anymore. It just logs a warning and keeps on going. That is a huge boost for stability. Speaking of stability, let's talk about debugging. We've all been there, right? Staring at that generic compilation failed message, just wondering what on earth it means. Well, now you get specifics. If you're trying to use a class that isn't in your jar file, the logs are going to tell you exactly that, with a class not found exception. This gets you to the root of the problem in seconds, not hours. Okay, so those are the big wins for batch jobs. Now, let's switch gears and see how that same philosophy of saving you time and headaches applies to your interactive notebooks. This quote really just captures the entire goal for the interactive experience perfectly. It's all about keeping you in that state of flow, removing all those little infrastructure hurdles that pull you out of your analysis. And the feature that makes this all possible is called runtime reuse. So before, every time you ran a notebook process, it had to spin up a brand new cluster from scratch. Now, if there's already a compatible runtime up and running, your notebook can just latch right onto it. Simple. And the impact of this is huge, and it's twofold. First, you wait less because you're not provisioning new resources all the time. Second, and this is just as important, it seriously drives down costs. Reusing clusters is way more efficient, so it's faster for you and better for the bottom line. It's a total win-win. And there are a couple more power-ups packed in here too. For all you Scala developers out there, the Scala kernel now has full feature parity with Python, which is awesome. It supports all the same advanced init logic. Also, if you ever need to install a package on the fly with sinutils, that process is now 30 to 90 seconds faster. Hey, every second counts, right? So, we've covered the new features and the major speed boosts, but what makes a platform truly great is stability. This release tackles some of those small recurring annoyances to create a much smoother workflow. Let's just run through a few of the key fixes here. You know that bug where your custom scripts would lose all their formatting and cause weird bash errors? Yeah, that's gone. What about that delay before a new runtime would actually show up in the UI dropdown? Fixed. The team also squashed some tricky errors with Bodo 3 on AWS and made sure your jar files always install correctly. And that's really the point. These aren't just items on a changelog. Each one of these fixes represents getting rid of a small frustration, a tiny roadblock that could totally derail your train of thought. And when you put them all together, they create a much more seamless and reliable experience. So, if you remember 3 things from this explainer, make it these. 1. Your jobs are way faster, with that 2 to 3 minute startup delay completely gone. 2. Your costs are lower, thanks to that intelligent runtime reuse. And 3, you'll just have fewer headaches, thanks to a more stable platform with much clearer error reporting. At the end of the day, Syntasa 9.0.1 is giving you back the most valuable resource you have, your time. So the only question left is a pretty simple one. What will you build with it?